We are now entering Shop Talk Tuesday. Hey, welcome to IKNOWAGUY Bicycles. This is a Shop Talk Tuesday. And like every Tuesday, I'm piping this back-end bike shop, jibber jabber, to you. This is a safe place for avid cyclists, recreational cyclists, or just beginner cyclists, as well as us mechanics that just sit in the back and you think we don't do anything all day, but we do work on stuff all day long. And we are so passionate about it. We dream about it, and we don't ride as much as we should. Any case, hey, I have a special edition today. As you probably saw in the title in itself, you're just joining in. We are going to talk about chains and the weakest link and that kind of thing, and some various other products, but not just any other chain and other products. We are going to an actual brand that I'm fairly familiar with now, but it's taken a few years to resonate. And it's one of those higher level product lines that you might want to consider for your own bike or your shop to sell, or part of the waxing service and all that kind of stuff. And I have brought in, actually, it's an individual that sells it. And the brand, Connex, is the chain, and we're going to talk about some various pieces of it. And also we have some other brands that he has. I'm going to butcher names, so I'll let him actually do the name, the European naming and so forth, but it's kind of cool concept in any case. So as a couple of you are piping in, thanks again. This is Shop Talk Tuesday, and we will bring in Gabe from Cantitoe. Hey, good morning. How you doing today?
It's Cantitoe, Jess.
Cantitoe. I'm notoriously known to destroy everything. I'm better with my hands. Let's do it that way.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. He owns a it's okay. We're in a new 2026 direct to consumer product wholesale environment, and your business is it's direct consumer as well as wholesale. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Cantitoe Road started as a distributor for a couple of bike related brands, and as everything morphed and e-commerce grew and everyone kind of felt like they needed to go direct to consumer to survive, so did Cantitoe Road. So we do both now. There was a swing pretty hard toward the direct to consumer, and so now we're working on a correction. We're happy to continue to sell direct, but we want to support bike shops and get the products out through that channel as well. And so we're doing both. Yeah.
Awesome. So Connex is one of your main lines. What's the other brand that you're carrying?
Yeah, Connex is one of our two primary brands, and the other is Effetto Mariposa. Effetto Mariposa, right? It's a combo Spanish-Italian that translates to butterfly effect.
Oh, nice. That's I'll just say butterfly effect.
There you go. So yeah, Effetto Mariposa, headquartered in Switzerland, but primarily manufactured in Italy, with a few other items from Taiwan.
Oh, nice.
But
nice.
Yeah, it was started in Italy, and then they moved the offices to Switzerland.
Okay. Sounds good.
Italian brand.
Nice. Yeah, let's dive into Connex. And Connex is a chain, a bicycle chains owned by Wippermann. And my little backstory on Connex is worked at Lee's Cyclery here years back, and apparently one of the reps talked to our service manager at the time to carry some of these chains, and they are not a chain that's OEM, so you don't see them on Trex or Specialized or any brand coming out of any manufacturing. They're a after product. And at the time I was like, well, what are these things? And the service manager goes, oh, they're just really nice chains. And that's about as educational level that we got at the time. And fast forward today, it's a lot more to it for sure. And a lot more, I would say, more important in today's environment, and we'll go into that in a little bit here. But yeah, back then it's like, what is this thing? And it had a weird link, and you try to put it together, and I was like, oh, bike mechanics hate doing this, reading the directions. That is just our no go-to. So here's your opportunity to learn how to do it without reading the directions. They have a link, and it's their own proprietary link, which is number one, reusable, and number two, you don't need a tool. And if you do use a tool, you'll damage it. You are the tool. Any case, with Connex chains, they're what I find out recently, educational wise on this, is they're made in Germany and German steel, and that's half the time when I tell a customer or somebody is thinking about going into, switching to a different chain or needed to upgrade a chain in the service department at my shop here. It's those two things. It's pretty much like, okay, I'm sold. Like, they don't even care about the price per se, which they are price competitive, but it's just one of those things, like, we're just ingrained here in the States, like German steel, German manufacturing. It's a win-win. Yeah. So once you elaborate, it sounds like, and we'll go into the chains a little bit, but you had an experience of going and seeing their factory in Germany. Tell us a little bit about that.
I did. Yeah. I was there last March. So almost a year ago now. It was pretty incredible. It's a 125-year-old company, and Wippermann makes chains for industrial applications. In addition to bicycles. So when you visit the factory, you see, massive chains that are used on ships, chains that are manufactured for elevators, all sorts of applications. And then they have the Connex division, which is specific to cycling, and they've been making cycling chains from day one. So for 125 years, they didn't always brand them as Connex.
Actually, I remember Wippermann packaging.
I don't remember when they changed the branding. I'm sure they hired a marketing consultant somewhere along the way. Try and spruce it up. But the facility itself is in a building, or a couple of buildings in Hagen, Germany, that are at least 125 years old. They're, these amazing brick and stone buildings. And then when you tour the interior, there's incredible technology. They're making, really using state-of-the-art tools and technology to craft these chains, and now of course they're doing pre-waxed, factory wax chains, and that sort of stuff. It's pretty impressive.
On the pre-waxing on the manufacturing level, because us guys in the shop, we've been doing a little waxing, so we have like a little miniature version of what they're probably doing. Is what is your takeaway for the mass production of? And they're not doing all their chains yet; it's just a portion of it. Is that correct?
Right. More and more every year, though. They keep adding chains as demand grows. Right now, I think they have 4 different 12-speed chains that come pre-waxed.
Okay.
As well as kind of the traditional. So yeah, it's the system that they use, the machine that they use to first make sure and finish stripping down the chain prior to the waxing, moves everything through. I think it's at about 50 chains at a time.
Oh, okay.
And so it's fairly high volume, right? It's a proprietary wax that they're using as well. They went into partnership with a European chain wax manufacturer, and so the wax that they sell, the hot wax that they sell, this guy, this is the same wax that they're using on the pre-wax chains.
Okay. And they have a drip version, a liquid version for refresh.
That's right. Yeah.
Very similar to the Silca, which is very, it's American company-ish. And that's becoming like the more the known product of the latest market, because they've done a huge, great marketing push for their waxes, the Secret Chain wax, which a lot of us
see that everywhere. Yeah.
use. Yeah. And, but yeah, I mean, with, you know, a lot of the properties, I mean, some people are going to like hate me when I say this, but a lot of properties of a lot of the chain waxes out there are very similar to some level. So if you have a chain that's already like a Silca wax and you want to switch it over, as long as you do the hot submersion of that other flavor, usually sheds and replenishes it with the new. So, I mean, and the funny thing is, I'm going to plug Zero Friction down in Australia. They do a lot of testing, non-biased testing. Nobody pays them to do these testings.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, the chain waxes and all that and how they perform. And the funniest thing I've noticed on this charts is even he did candle wax once. And the candle wax still outperformed most, if not all, of the regular traditional drip lubes that we're used to using. So you can say that pretty much any wax that's formulated for chain specifically is going to work really well. So in any case, so it's good to hear that they're going to do that. I know it's a monumental lift for a company to take their processes and go, is this a fad? This is a thing. You know, it becomes more and more important. And as we've seen in the tour, where Silca has been really toting the company Kool-Aid, like we're getting a lot of winning, a lot of wattage savings, and all this. And I see Connex, KMC are starting to do it. It might be a while before Shimano and SRAM do, but it's really interesting to see that with a company like Connex, I'm assuming that they're not a fast to the market with anything. They really, I mean, they have a reputation. They have to like make sure it's done right out of the gate because they don't want to just throw something out there and retract it. Is that what your feel is with the company?
Oh yeah, 100%. And I, you know, I think they saw, well, I know that they saw coming to market with pre-wax chains as an opportunity because they didn't have to redesign their chains at all, right? It's kind of an add-on.
Yeah.
And so they could take the chains that are tried and true and that they've developed carefully and simply add that waxed component.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a significant investment for sure to invest to purchase the machinery, but
yeah. And what I really found was very interesting about the Connex chains is, I mean, like all brands, you have like a good, better breast, and it's usually by a price point, and you'll see like, oh, nickel plated or something like this, or hollowed out or whatever. That's something visually, but it's really kind of been lost in the tiers within each speed, which they mirrored from their even single speeds up to the 12 speeds. Which I'm assuming they probably will come out with a 13 speed to go on Campanoli, the latest version. But what I've noticed within those price points, there's very, well, with your site, not on Connex, because it's kind of lost in translations on the Connex website. It's not very depth with or rich with details, but you'll be able to get them to give that information to you and put it on your site. What is probably like the good, better, best levels within a chain, it doesn't matter what speed, to the bottom line to the stainless steel, which I don't see very many other chains that are being made out of that.
Yeah, so we worked hard to try and make our site digestible to someone who is just replacing their chain for the first time, maybe, right? And so they didn't even realize maybe that they needed a gear specific chain, and so yeah, we went through each in the way that we grouped the chains by speed and then created a chart within that for each one. So if you look at the SX line of chains from Connex with the stainless steel pins, in general across each of the gears, that's going to be your premium chain. It's going to vary a little bit speed to speed, where there's some differences in chains on the 9 or 10, 11, and 12 speed, where you have the pre-waxed. Those chains are actually a slightly different chain. They did actually engineer a slight change to the SX before waxing it. Yeah.
Okay.
On the wing plates, they're slightly different on those.
Okay.
But still with the stainless steel pins.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the next level down on all of them is like a nickel plated. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Then a nickel plated, and in a number of the gears we'll have e-bike specific chains, which are right. Yeah. So they use a different formulation of steel. So slightly harder steel, they're slightly heavier if you look at the gram weight, but much stronger, so that they can facilitate that added torque that you get with an e-bike. It's not something you really need to worry about if you're on a 200 watt e-bike, but when you get up to 500 watts and some of these super powerful motors, you'll burn through chains quickly if you don't.
Yeah, that's nice to know, because as a mechanic, we've seen already from the beginning when electric assist hit the market, it's like people are blowing through the drivetrains, especially with the hub drive. That doesn't encourage the rider to shift as much. And when they don't shift, they're not distributing the load or the stress. So they'll burn out like 2 or 3 cogs in their chain. So, it's really nice to see a product like come out that's e-bike specific to help those particular bikes out. And are you going to notice the difference between what's the materials of the lowest or the lower model, like the good chain versus better versus best? And is there, like, besides weight, is there longevity? Like, does it last longer when you spin a little bit more? What is the, like, off the top of your head, what was the cooling on?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So generally you're going to start with a steel chain at the bottom end, right? And it's going to be slightly heavier than as you move up the scale, up the price point scale, right? One of the things that is generally not sacrificed, though, is durability. So I mean, we talk about the e-bike chains being extremely durable, but if you compare, and actually Zero Friction Cycling is a great place to go and look for these tests. If you compare the Connex chains versus the competition, they almost always wear longer, up to 2.5 times as long as some of the comparable Shimano chains. And so that's true even at the lower level chains. The criticism of them at that lower level is it's probably not going to shift quite as smoothly.
Okay.
And so then you move up to the nickel plated, and you get some added performance there typically. And then the stainless steel is the premium. Yeah.
And also the environment you're in too. I mean, if it's really humid and so forth,
it's
still going to be better.
Absolutely. And you'll see on some of the chains that are meant for cargo bikes and single speed bikes, they also make specific chains for harsh conditions and put additional coatings on them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow,
and it's noted on the site there.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to mention too, you had talked about the development cycle for Connex, and this is a good example of that. So Connex now, as of maybe the middle of last year, has a SRAM flat top compatible.
That's right.
And so they spent 2 years designing and testing this. They have a couple of factory team racers, mountain bike racers in Europe that tested it for them, and so they launched this last year, and as of this year, it's now available pre-waxed as well.
Oh wow, awesome!
Kind of cool.
So like mechanic fuzzy math. So they're 2.5 times longer lasting, and you add a wax, which is a huge benefit to that. I mean, you can get that chain to last a lot longer than your standard.
It's pretty significant. Yeah. Waxing in general is going to extend the life, right? And add watts to your power, right?
Yeah.
2 to 4 watts?
I think Silca with their speed chip is like 6 watts or something like that. And yeah.
Yeah. To be clear, though, not every chain tested was 2.5 times longer than the competition. So, but in general, that's what, Connex hangs their hat on for sure.
That's well, I mean, they're a company that's all they do is chains. I mean, it's one of those things where that's where I like to, like work with brands and partnerships. Like this is what they do, and they do it well. And especially when in my market, I'm refurbishing bikes, I'm fixing them up for people to ride. I'm doing service on a lot of bikes, not a lot of high end, but older high end, that kind of thing. And these are people who just enjoy riding. And yeah, we usually get them sold by, German steel, German engineering done. But, if somebody really gets lost and wants to get lost in the weeds, they can really just kind of go head to head and do the little spreadsheets with the other ones. But I would say the funniest, or I wouldn't say the most opportune thing for Connex with this whole wax chain, it's not a fad. It's here to stay. It's one of those, it's old tech being revamped kind of thing, is their link. And their link is reusable, one, where other brands, even though as mechanics, we always end up reusing them anyway, but they don't stand behind it as the companies go. So that's one thing. And second, you don't have to use the tool. So with that, for the customer or mechanic, it's super easy to pop that chain off, re-wax it, and put it back on there with something as easy as, well, this one's been waxed, so it's a little bit harder to open up, but once it sheds, it's that easy. The only thing is if you're a mechanic and you come across this wing looking Connex Link and you use a chain tool, you're not going to get it off, and you're going to end up damaging your tool or the link itself. But just being mindful of all mechanics out there, or customers or riders out there that have these. But I also heard that these links could be used on other brands. Is that
absolutely true? Yeah, we sell a lot of them. People will install them on their SRAM or Shimano or KMC. Any of those brands can take a Connex link.
So pretty much all speeds. What about that flat top new SRAM one? Do they have a link special for that one, or is that a little bit different?
It doesn't use
Ooh, tripped you.
You did, actually. Trying to think, we have an order coming in, and I'm trying to think if we had to order separate links. I know they make them, right? Because when you buy it, it comes with a link.
Yeah.
And so it's got a different size pin, so it's got to have a different size link.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah. So, I mean, they're a little more expensive, but if you have like a super high end Dura-Ace chain or the SRAM top end, and the chain's still good, but you want to have the ease of popping it on and off.
Yeah, and we sell them individually all the time.
Yeah,
shops can bring them in at wholesale.
Sounds good.
One of the things to note on the link, for folks who haven't used them before, there is a right side up and an upside down that you want to make sure and note. It won't flow over the cogs correctly if it's upside down.
Yeah, it's mostly in the smaller cogs, if I understood it correctly, because it has like more of a beveled edge on one side that sticks out, and you want that to be on the outside of your either chain ring or your cassette, and it'll start ticking at the 11 or 12 cog.
Exactly.
But yeah, I had a customer that just bought a chain for me, and he was like, "Did I put this on right?" And he had it upside down. I was like, "No, flip it." Then I sent him the old video with Tom
Yeah.
Sorry. I will make you a new video. It's a little more clean cut
We can redo some of our videos
within 3 minutes versus however long it took him to explain it with this little side story.
You can also see it, especially for mechanics, right, that are on this. You can see on the link, it just makes sense to go so it flows over the chainring and the matches the rest of the chain.
Awesome. Yeah. So Gabe here, for my viewers, there's also a discount code in the description. We get 15% off.
That's right.
Gracious discount. Yeah. So if you wanted to try the Connex chains or any of his other products, I believe it's through the whole site. So use the I Know a Guy discount and
CantitoeRoad.com.
Yep. And also you do have for the shops. We were talking about that before. Not steering away from direct to consumer, but putting a little more investment into the local bike shops. And right now, and perfect timing, because a lot of shops are working due diligently to try to make their service departments more robust, because that's where a lot of our business is coming from in the next foreseeable future. Also, as well, refurbishing bikes and used bikes in that market. So that perspective of you're offering, established bike shops, or even those who do mobile repair, or little guys like me in the garage do my thing. You'll give them that you have an opportunity to apply for wholesale.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you have a reseller's license, we're happy to work with you.
Okay.
Yeah. We absolutely want to support small independent bike shops, and it's also somewhat selfish as well, right? We want to help these brands get more of a foothold in the US, and so having mechanics out there using them and talking about them helps with that. So hopefully it's beneficial all around, right?
Oh yeah, I mean you're providing a great product and bringing it forward, and then you have my customers. I have a few that just went the top end of everything. Like that's how their mentality is for their equipment, because they just love their bike so much. It's like it's part of them. They have names for them, so it's to refresh it and give it. They're like, oh yeah, the Connex German steel, even though they never heard of it. If the bike shops, I mean, once you get a couple in your hand and installed a few of them, you're like, oh, this is the stuff. This is where it makes more sense. It gives a better option. And they will work with all the other brands of Shimano, SRAM. Is Campy in that camp too?
Absolutely.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, that's some pretty good insights on chains.
So we were talking earlier about the lab over in Australia, Zero Friction Cycling, and the testing that those guys do. The second brand, the second primary brand that we sell, Effetto Mariposa, also makes drip wax, and it's called Flower Power. Ooh. So this guy is derived from sunflower seed wax, and Zero Friction Cycling, it's the highest rated drip lubricant they've ever tested.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's formulated to go onto wax drivetrains.
Absolutely. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. So it's a drip wax. I mean, the Connex wax is good. Nothing wrong with it at all. But the Flower Power just scored off the charts. As far as drip waxes, it's not as good as hot melt wax.
Yeah.
Right. But
nothing replaces the hot dip. But if you like, a majority of like customer friendly forward, or even quick shop, like it's in a shop for an hour or so. Refreshing. I've used it quite a bit, refreshing it with the drip formulated, and it seems to refresh it enough. And my customers, it keeps them from having to go to the shop every time. And it just, they can push the can down the road to wait till maybe their next tune up. There's a couple different philosophies. There's one, you just do the drip. Other one, you buy 3 chains and just swap it out. All depends how mechanical you are or how much you want to invest into that. That can get pretty pricey, but either way, I think, you know, most people will notice a significant lift. And I have in the chat here, Vital Bike Chains, Bill, he's down in Florida, and he does a lot of pre-waxed and custom formulated to do all sorts of different speed waxes and so forth like that. So where the manufacturers will just do their standard wax, which is, you know, a medium range wax, you can still have it sent down to like Bill to have them do the super speed, get to that 6-7 watts of extra power and that kind of thing and so forth.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
I'm a guy that uses the pre-waxed factory wax chain, and then I go straight to the drip wax, and I don't take the time to hot wax.
No, I mean, I'm not gonna say for all mechanics, but this one specifically, I will always have the dirtiest bike.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm working on them all day. I make everybody else's bikes beautiful. For me though, it's like I'll ride it to death before I get to do things. It's just time, you know, that kind of thing. It's like I'd rather be on it when I have the time off to go ride versus, but with something like that though, I've done the drip version to refresh my chain several times, and it runs flawlessly. And on my latest Le Mans, I got one of the gold Connex chains, the gold plated one. Pretty cool. It really matches like the classic. I look up, it's hanging right up there. It has all the classic, you know, steel kind of look to it. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
And it's actually plated with brass.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's right.
Plate. That's right. I have to read the packaging.
I mean, it says gold on it, right? But
yeah, it says gold, but yeah, if you read it in small print, it does say brass. That's right. And they do other color. They have a black. Is that right?
Yeah, black with the gold or brass pins.
Oh wow! So you can really pimp out your bike.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Awesome. Well, let's talk about the other product list that you have there. You talked about the Flower Power Hippie chain lube there.
Yeah.
Nothing setting or matter. You know, it's like I'm from the '70s, so you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So the product that sort of launched the company is a torque wrench specifically designed for cycling applications. So they actually, I'm going to pull one out here. It comes like in a wrap pack. The deluxe version does anyway, with a bunch of bits. So there are a number of different versions. This one launched just in December. So this is a fixed torque wrench. It doesn't ratchet, which allows it to have a significantly smaller head, so it can fit in spaces that the others can't. So it's a 1 to 15 Newton meter torque wrench. And so the Effetto Mariposa makes, I think, 4 different torque wrenches.
Okay.
So there's one that looks a lot like this, but has a slightly larger head, sort of the traditional ratcheting torque wrench. That's also a 1 to 15. And then they did an anniversary version of that, which has reverse ratcheting and is a super cool color. And then there's a much larger one. There's a 10 to 60 Newton meter torque wrench, which has fewer applications on a bike. One of the 1 to 15s is what's generally most useful. Couple of key things to know about these. Nothing plastic anywhere on the wrench. Nothing really to break. It's all metal, aluminum body, hardened steel interior parts, and it's guaranteed accurate for 5,000 clicks.
Oh wow!
So 5,000 clicks for most home use is a lifetime.
Yeah.
Right. So you're good. But for mechanics who invest in them, if they're using them every day, right, you certainly get to 5,000 clicks. They can be recalibrated.
Okay.
So you can send them in the US, we do that service. And then in Europe, they go directly back to Effetto Mariposa.
Okay.
That service.
Is there a cost equated to that? Just the shipping, or?
Nah, it's like $60. $60 covers the return shipping, but yeah, there's some cost to
Okay. But still, though, I mean, pretty much all torque wrenches, you have to have them at some point recalibrated, and that's kind of like a, for the novice bike mechanic doesn't know. Even the less expensive ones, they're only good for a certain amount, and
oftentimes they can't be rebuilt, right? So when we get these in, we completely rebuild the interior, the guts of the torque wrench, and clean it and then calibrate it.
Nice. That's very, very important when you're talking about some of these very, very expensive high-end bikes. Yeah. You got to at least have some brand name that if you're a pro mechanic that's professional, that's doing it. You don't want to be using a torque wrench that's off on a full carbon bike and carbon bits and so forth. And you're talking about the higher torque range one. I don't use mine as much, but it is used on like cassettes and bottom brackets and those other pretty sensitive areas. As you hear that crack,
right? It's an expensive crack.
Call your insurance person because there's going to be a claim. It's not going to be a pretty day for you. So yeah, those are very important. So they started off with just torque wrenches. So
yeah, that was their kind of flagship product, and built off from there.
What else do they got?
So 2 different sealants, Cafe Latex and Vegetallex.
Okay, I think I've seen those advertised.
Cafe Latex for sure. It's incredibly popular in Europe. It uses a synthetic latex, and it actually, inside the tire, with the motion of the tire, it foams. So it fills the tire in a way that traditional latex sealants do not. That stay just liquid and ride in the bottom of the tire.
Yeah.
And so it seals incredibly well. The weight that it adds is among the lowest out there. So for folks who care deeply about the weight of their rig, Cafe Latex is fantastic. Yeah, it's used pretty extensively in Europe. That a number of World Tour teams run it, but only one is sponsored, so the only one will admit to it. But when you talk to the guys at Effetto Mariposa, they ship it out, so they know where it goes.
Yeah, like, oh, this team's using it. Yeah. That foaming technique, that's pretty because as a mechanic, as all the other mechanics are in the watching this, are going, we've all pulled out tires, and there's like this hardened puddle cast in time that we have to like rip out. So for maintenance of it, is it easier to maintenance, or is it
so it's still a latex sealant. So if it dries out completely, you'll still get that same issue.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. However, if you look at Vegetallex, this is a fully biodegradable, much more environmentally friendly than any of the latex-based sealants on the market, not just Cafe Latex, but any of them. So this is plant-based, water-soluble. So it actually uses crushed olive pits as the coagulant, as the sealant.
Okay.
And so it you can just add a little water to it, and it'll reconstitute.
Oh.
Yeah, it's and works great. I run this in my mountain bike. I've had great success with it. You do volume wise, you put in a little bit more than you do of the Cafe Latex. So I don't sweat the tiny bit of extra weight that adds, but
yeah, I got a lot of weight off of me to shed.
Yeah, but it's super nice. If you've ever, any of the latex based sealants, if you get it on your clothes or even on the frame of your bike, it can be a bear to get off. It's just it's just not as convenient to work with. We actually sell a latex remover because of that.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, because not for my clothes, because I've gotten it on my clothes, like just regular other stuff, and it's ruined. I still reuse them because I'm not going to take new stuff into the shop every time. So my wife's like, "What you got on your pants?" I'm like, "Oh, it's been on it for months." It looks weird, but whatever.
Yeah.
But the remover is how's that work on the specific that brand, or does it work on all brands of like stand?
It'll work on all brands. Yeah. And works particularly well on frames. So whether it's a carbon, aluminum, steel frame, works really well.
That's good, because I do a lot of frame detailing, and I've come across a couple of more mountain bikes that had accidents. and
you get that puncture and the sealant's squirting out.
Get that rooster tail going through, and it's on you and the bike and your clothes, and I'm sitting there scraping in the small little corners of your chain stays and cursing sealants.
So the way this works is it'll actually soften that latex.
Okay.
So you dab a little bit on there and give it a few minutes to soften it up, and then you can use a rag and get it off.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, we're not going to get to all the products today, but I guess the last thing I'll mention on these guys, because we got mechanics on here, right? They come in shop sizes. A bunch of the Effetto Mariposa stuff come in more of a bulk size to be used in shops. So this guy comes in a 5-liter with a pump top, and the Cafe Latex can come in a 10-liter. Okay. So it pretty significantly changes the kind of that pricing structure for, when shops are charging to set up, tubeless wheels.
Oh yeah. Do they have their own brand of injector too?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's a sweet little injector. I mean, they're all somewhat similar. This one's nice because it comes with the brass cap to screw it on to the valve.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those are a lifesaver. Then, back before they had those really readily available, it's like there's a little dripping bottle in there, or you're squeezing in through so much spillage.
Yeah. So messy.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a great product line. That'd be good for shops, and to be able to take advantage of a little bit more of a margin with some good product. Is there their wax, like the Flower Power? Does that come in a bigger size?
It does. It comes in a 500 milliliter.
Nice
size. So this is the 100, wherever it is. Yeah. So it comes in a 500. What else? There's so one of the other products is a mastic a tape, double-sided tape for tubulars.
Yeah. So because I'm getting gifted a set of wheels that are tubulars.
Are you? All right. So if you don't want to go with the mastic glue, you can use this tape.
Okay.
And it holds beautifully. But similarly, it comes, the standard size is a 2-meter size. So, enough for one set of wheels, but would also sell it in a 16-meter. So it can be cut.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Ask any mechanic out there if you can make because there's some classic riders out there that still do tubulars, and doing sew ups has always been a tricky thing. Needless to say, it's, you know, the race performance and all. I mean, you know, all that. But as a mechanic perspective of it, it's like, oh God. You know? And some shops won't even do it. They just run and hide. They're like, nope, not doing it.
Niche. It's pretty niche these days.
It is niched. They're still out there. And some of those, like, I'm in the vintage stuff, so it's kind of like you kind of really need to find a better way. Do they have a cleaner to clean off the old glue that people have used from what was the brand? That was the old sew-up glue. It's kind of like, looked like a goober in a bottle.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. It's called Corrogna Remover.
Oh,
so that's all you need right there.
That to go with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody said in the chat, is like, back in the day, we called it huffing glue.
There you go.
It's pre-vaping. I mean, the stuff was like, you'd have to do it outside, and you'd have to do it while it's hot outside, because you throw the tires in the sun to let them cook to like be more pliable. And I just remember you put a layer of the glue on the tire, then you put a layer of glue on the rim, and then you had like this song and dance of like rolling it on the rim, and hopefully you got it on there straight enough before it sets like a double sticky thing. Oh man, it's just I mean,
I've never done it. I've never done it. It does not sound fun.
It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. What I've noticed with the tape, I've seen a couple of videos. I haven't really dived into it too much, but apparently you put the tape down first, then and it has the pull sticky portion still on there. So when you mount the tire's on there where you want it correct, and you just pull it's like a rip cord.
Exactly.
You just rip it off, and it adheres to the same spot. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty slick.
That makes, that's
and
maybe
so
we'll bring tubulars back, so easy.
You never know.
And you sell the sew kit to go with it too. And to fix a flat, they'd have to open the tire up, pull the actual tube out, patch it, put it back. I've heard people doing this and sew it back together and put it back on their tire. It's like, man, you are a diehard. It has way too much time.
Yeah, a lot of commitment.
Oh man, great stuff. Great, awesome. So anything else that you want to bring to our attention with the
I mean, folks can look at the website. There's more stuff, right? Both from Connex and from Effetto Mariposa. Effetto Mariposa does a great line of environmentally friendly cleaners. And yeah, there's some chain cleaners, things like that on there, and there's more from Connex. We also sell a Scandinavian brand, Herman's. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but it's mostly they do mostly lights and grips.
Okay.
So we've got a variety of those in our shop as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, cool. Yeah. Check out the link below in the description. Little discount there for those who want to try it in the products. And yeah, I would implore you as a bike shop or even avid cyclists, I mean, look at the Connex chains, because it's been, for my service department, it's been a game changer. I pretty much stopped carrying, and this is not a plug, this is just true to honest God. What I've done is, for me to streamline what I carry and keep it simple for, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. I just went with the Connex chains for re-waxing to pre-waxed for my customer base. My customers are more welcome to bring in, if they want a Shimano or SRAM or KMC, whatever, that's fine. But for me to stock and to just keep on hand, I basically just went to the Connex, and that's pretty much, I filtered out all the other brands. That's for me and for my volume. That doesn't fit with all other shops out there and what your business model may be. But if you're not carrying the Connex yet, it's something to definitely look into, or ask your local shop if they can get it, because it's a very solid brand. They stand up behind their product. It works really well. And it's something that's like, it's a good investment into that drivetrain, because we all know the chain, if it wears out, gets elongated, which they call stretch. When it elongates fast, it will compromise cassette, jockey wheels, and also the crank sets. And those parts escalate in price for replacing. So when you're looking at either the top end Campanoli or Shimano or SRAM, when you get to those two top tiers, it gets really expensive to replace some of those things. So especially, you know, also in addition to the e-bike, get a chain that lasts a little bit longer, less stretch, less wear and tear on that drivetrain. So it saves you a little bit of money there. And some of those e-bikes are pretty pricey. That kind of thing. Well, cool. Well, that should take up our time for today. And
thanks, Jason. Appreciate it. If folks have questions, they're welcome to reach out to me through the website, cantitoeroad.com. Happy to chat. Yeah, share any information you might need.
Awesome. Oh, so with Connex, are they looking to? I mean, probably not all models of their chains, but definitely, because I noticed one of the first batch they released, it was not on the stainless steel. Will they start filtering that in? Because it only goes down to the 10 speeds. They weren't doing the 9 or 8 speeds.
Yeah. So the last time I talked to them about this, which has been a little while, so maybe it's changed, but the machining is different when you get into those lower chains. And so they hadn't yet decided whether it was worthwhile for them to, you know, create that machine, purchase that machine, whatever it might be, in order to be able to do that. So I haven't heard yet. I don't know.
It all depends based on volume too.
Yeah,
for sure, because it probably doesn't make sense. But then again,
and price point, right? So those lower chains are lower demand, lower price point.
That's where I have more of my sales of the pre-waxed. And again, that's my niche, is like the 9-speed world, that kind of thing. But yeah, as well as anybody, check out Vital Bike Chains. I have a link below too if they want to get their chains waxed, or you can have, you know, I'm sure you can probably buy the Connex and have them shipped to Bill. That's fine.
Sure.
And just have them redirected there, and he'll do the waxing. Then you can, you know, have it sent it to you. So there's a way of getting you into that wax realm, and even high levels of, you know, speed shift and all that, which works well too. So, you know, we're all a big happy family here to help each other out. So
that's right.
Oh, so I've learned so much today. That's awesome. Thanks again for coming on. And again, everybody out there, it's Shop Talk Tuesday. We're going to cut this a little bit shorter. I have bikes to work on, but check me out on Freak Out Friday and as well next Tuesday. And I hope everybody has a great day. And extra information below. Please like and subscribe if you like this content. And we'll see everybody next time. Thanks again.
Thanks, everyone. Good to see you, Justin. Bye.
Bye.